The switch from INFJ to Sigma isn't just a mindset shift. It's a survival move that rewrites everything you thought you knew about yourself. Imagine giving until there's nothing left to give. Years of loyalty, silent battles, and the weight of carrying others' pain. But what single moment can turn a healer into a strategist? Sometimes it's one friend's betrayal. Sometimes it's the slow sting of being misunderstood, over and over again. What happens when empathy hardens into influence, when quietness becomes control? The cost is high, and the transformation is rare. But for those who reach this breaking point, nothing is ever the same again. And the number 10 sign? It reveals the moment everything changes forever. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. And if you are looking to achieve a deeper understanding of yourself and your personality type, click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test. Sign number 1, the breaking point. What pushes an INFJ to evolve? For an INFJ, the breaking point doesn't arrive with a single act of cruelty. It's a slow accumulation of crushing realizations. Limitless patience and the instinct to heal are tested by years of unmet expectations. You continue to offer loyalty, absorbing misunderstandings, and suppressing the sting of broken promises. But eventually, there's a moment when you see it clearly. Your selfless loyalty is met with indifference, or worse, quietly exploited. This moment isn't just painful, it's transformative. You realize that overgiving isn't a virtue when it invites others to weaponize your empathy. The cost of always being the fixer becomes too high. Only when this truth is undeniable does the INFJ begin to shed old patterns, stepping away from self-sacrifice and towards self-preservation. But how does this pain rewire their trust circuitry? You'll see next. Sign number 2, betrayal and disappointment, rewiring the INFJ brain. Betrayal and disappointment don't just sting, they force a quiet, permanent shift inside the INFJ mind. Scientists suggest that repeated emotional pain can rewire the brain's trust mechanisms, making you more selective, even guarded. What once felt natural, giving, caring, believing in others, now comes with calculation. The instinct to heal is still there, but it's channeled inward, much like software updates patching a security hole after too many breaches. You start to see that pouring endless empathy into people who weaponize your kindness isn't compassion, it's slow self-destruction. The exhaustion creeps in, subtle but relentless. Years of giving without return leave you hollowed out, and even your brightest ideals start to feel like traps. You stop letting everyone in, not because you've lost your empathy, but because you've finally come to respect its value. To outsiders, you might seem closed off. In truth, you're just protecting what's left. What happens when burnout turns into a cold strategy? Let's find out. Sign number 3, from I'll fix it to I'll outlast it, the mindset shift. The INFJ's transformation begins quietly, when you stop believing it's your job to fix what others keep breaking. After years of sacrifice and the slow ache of unreciprocated effort, your question changes. No longer, how can I repair this? Now, how do I survive this and come out stronger? This is the core of the shift, moving from desperate idealism to a kind of resilience that doesn't need applause. You conserve your energy, setting boundaries instead of rushing into fires that aren't yours to put out. Your problem solving turns inward. You learn to outlast toxic systems, to navigate challenges with strategy, and to protect your peace at all costs. This isn't the death of compassion, it's the birth of self-respect. This self-preservation, according to Sigma INFJ origin stories, is the moment they truly feel free. But what finally convinces an INFJ to stop trying to heal those who keep hurting them? Sign number 4. Why Sigma INFJs? Stop trying to heal toxic people. Why do Sigma INFJs walk away from toxic people, sometimes for good? It's not because their empathy fades. It's because, as the research says, Some people don't want to be saved. You see it in their eyes. They cling to their chaos, find comfort in old wounds, and resist every attempt at healing. For an INFJ, trying to help someone like this is like pouring water into a bucket riddled with holes. No matter how much you give, it's never enough. Have you ever poured energy into someone who never thanked you? The emotional toll becomes too much. The one-sided effort drains your peace, your trust, your sense of self. That's when the shift happens. Sigma INFJs develop piercing clarity. They spot manipulation, see who drains them, and protect their energy. They erase toxic people. No more second chances. This clarity isn't cold. It's the price of survival. But what happens when you trade idealism for strategy? Sign number 5. From idealism to strategic thinking. Idealism once fueled everything you did. Maybe you dreamed of building world peace, only to find yourself rigging the game just to survive. For a Sigma INFJ, this shift isn't about giving up hope. It's about realizing that pouring yourself into broken systems leads to exhaustion and disillusionment. After enough heartbreak, you stop trying to fix what refuses to change. You see that idealism without limits is a trap, so you adapt. You use your intuition as a survival tool, not just a gentle guide. You start reading the room, predicting motives, and sidestepping traps before they're even set. The same empathy that once made you vulnerable now sharpens your senses. You don't just react, you anticipate, maneuver, and protect your energy with surgical precision. This isn't about abandoning compassion. It's about turning your natural gifts into strategy, transforming quiet insight into tangible results. Next, discover how they turn introversion into influence. Sign number 6, the weaponization of quiet charisma. A Sigma INFJ's quiet charisma isn't accidental. It's a calculated force, one that draws people in without a word. They don't simply read the room, they mirror your desires and reflect your fears, like holding up a mirror that shows your hidden doubts. This isn't about seeking approval. It's about understanding what motivates people and using that insight to guide outcomes, all while staying one step ahead. Empathy, once a burden, becomes their sharpest tool. They don't hand it out freely. They select where it serves their purpose, almost as if charging others for the privilege of their attention. Silence isn't awkward for them. It's strategic. They let it linger, creating tension and making others question what isn't said. The less people know, the more they wonder, and that mystery becomes a source of power. But how do Sigma INFJs treat guilt after cutting ties? You'll see in the next entry. Sign number 7. Why guilt disappears when cutting off harmful relationships. Block, delete, vanish. For the Sigma INFJ, ending a harmful relationship isn't a source of guilt. It's a wave of relief. You've spent years overextending, trying to heal those who never wanted change, only to find your empathy weaponized against you. The moment you recognize your energy is better spent elsewhere, guilt evaporates. What used to feel like abandonment now feels like self-respect. Would you trade guilt for freedom? You stop seeing yourself as the fixer. Instead, you protect your boundaries like a fortress, knowing not everyone deserves access to your heart. Each severed tie becomes a lesson, not a loss, a sign you finally understand your worth. The world expects you to feel remorse, but you feel lighter, unburdened. Self-preservation isn't selfish. It's the bravest act of rebellion an INFJ can commit. Now, let's explore how they become truly untouchable. Sign number 8. Becoming untouchable. The psychology of Sigma INFJs. Becoming untouchable isn't about building walls. It's about knowing which doors to lock for good. For Sigma INFJs, this transformation starts with a sharp lesson. Vulnerability, no matter how sincere, can be used against you. So you lock your heart away and throw the key into the abyss. Boundaries harden, not out of coldness, but out of a fierce commitment to emotional safety. Empathy doesn't vanish. It becomes a guarded currency, spent only where it's truly valued. Every emotion is examined, dissected, as if you're at a crime scene, searching for clues about who can be trusted. You learn to spot manipulation before it even surfaces, to sense exploitation in a single glance. The world doesn't see the armor, but you feel its weight every day. Solitude becomes your war room. This is where you plot, strategize, and rebuild power. Alone, you sharpen your instincts and master your next move, turning isolation into your strongest asset. What makes their intuition a weapon? Up next. Sign number 9. Using intuition as a tactical advantage. Intuition for a Sigma INFJ isn't gentle guidance. It's a screaming alarm system. You sense the faintest ripple, catch a shift in tone, or notice the way someone glances away. It's not about waiting for red flags. You smell blood in the water before trouble even surfaces. This instinct becomes your tactical advantage. You see patterns that others overlook, and when something feels off, you act, ghosting after one vibe check, stepping away from a job before the cracks show, never hesitating to protect your peace. Every move is calculated, never impulsive. You trust your gut, not as a hopeful hunch, but as a survival tool honed by experience. When others need proof, you've already changed course, sidestepping chaos before it finds you. This foresight isn't a fluke. It's your edge, the reason you stay in control while others are left reeling. Wait until you hear why this change never reverses. Sign number 10. Why this transformation is permanent. This transformation is permanent because it isn't just a new habit. It's an irreversible evolution that rewires your core. Once you see that overgiving only drains you, there's no urge to return to the old self-sacrificing patterns. You start to build your identity around self-preservation, making it your guiding principle. The Sigma INFJ mindset means you protect your energy, not out of bitterness, but out of hard-won respect for yourself. You channel empathy inward, rebuilding your sense of worth and using solitude as a space for growth. Relationships shift. You don't fix toxic people. You remove them, and you never look back. The urge to burn bridges isn't about revenge. It's about clearing the path for your well-being. Even your charisma changes, turning a quiet presence into a shield. Drop a comment if you've felt this shift in yourself, because for those who reach this point, the change is lasting. This is the cost and the strength of a Sigma INFJ's journey. Every sign you've seen in this video points to a more profound truth. The Sigma INFJ's transformation is about reclaiming power, not losing heart. You don't stop feeling. You learn to channel that empathy inward, prioritizing your peace and self-respect. This isn't about shutting the world out. It's about finally understanding where your energy truly belongs and refusing to let it be drained by those who don't value it. Which sign surprised you most? Share below. If these signs resonate, hit the like button and subscribe to join our INFJ community. If you want to continue the journey to understanding yourself or an INFJ in your life, click either of the following videos, where we continue to unlock the secrets of the INFJ personality type.